Hey guys, we have a really beautiful day of astrology playing out today. We should be feeling pretty uplifted, pretty positive. There are definitely some harmonious vibes playing out. Things we're going to be talking about in our astrology report for today. First of all, we have Venus and Mars, an exact trine today in air signs. This is a very beautiful aspect, very harmonious energy. There could be some romance in the air today, you guys. We also have the moon in Leo today forming a trine to Jupiter in Aries. This is really expanding our level of internal positivity. We should be feeling a bit more optimistic, uplifted, and just generally sort of seeing our situation as the glass half full today. Also in this report, we're going to be talking about the sun currently coming into a square with Pluto. This is not exact yet, but it is definitely building, and there could be some tension that we're dealing with, some intense encounters or interactions. There could be some clashes of wills, power struggles, or some issues with authority specifically that we are dealing with in the energy today. So, Venus trine Mars, Moon trine Jupiter, and Sun square Pluto. You guys, let's get into this report. Let's talk about this energy and see how it may be affecting us in our journey on the ground today. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Today is Tuesday, October 18th, 2022. My name is Aubrey, and this is your astrological outlook of the day. If you guys stick with me till the end of the report, we are going to be talking about some tarot cards that came out as well in correspondence with our astrology today, just so that we can, as we do, tap the field for more than one modality and get a more well-rounded overview of the energy as it's playing out today. So we're going to be doing that as well. But we start with the astrology. As always, we start with the astrology, and I do feel today, as I mentioned in my intro, you guys, that it's a very harmonious day. This is likely to just be one of those just an overall kind of like a good positive day. We're probably feeling pretty good about ourselves. Like we may have really been struggling, may have really been going through quite a bit over this past couple of weeks. And it's not to say, that is like over in any sense of the word, but we are getting sort of just a break from the more maybe like melancholy attitudes about stuff today with these trines that are playing out. And also, like I said, there may be some romance in the air today. This is a very positive aspect for anything that is going on between like the masculine and the feminine dynamic of things. This is very much so facilitating, first of all, a sense of inner harmony going on within us, because of course we all have the masculine and the feminine energy that is present within us. And when we have this trine playing out between Mars and Venus, ruling divine feminine and divine masculine, feminine archetype, masculine archetype, and energies within us, there can tend to be this facilitation or just this blending or this fusion or this balance of energy going on within us, and then also being reflected, of course, in our relationship dynamics and encounters in the world as well. But it can just have us feeling a sense, again, of like inner harmony, a greater sense of inner peace, like less of perhaps an inner conflict going on in the energy today. And that same dimension of experience, that same harmonization is likely to be something that we are encountering in our external reality as well. Although we do have the square going on between the sun and Pluto, and that's its own little prize, and we'll talk about that as we get more through this report. But as we are starting and as we are talking about this beautiful trine that is playing out between the feminine, the masculine, Mars, Venus, and Venus also being in the sign of Libra, where she's very strong right now. Venus is combust. I talked about this in my video from yesterday. Venus is conjunct the sun right now, and when Venus is combust or conjunct the sun, a lot of times the more like surface qualities of Venus are not as prominent, like the just like the purity and the beauty and the kindness and that type of stuff. The more like lighthearted Venus qualities a lot of times are sort of not as prominent when we have Venus combust. But what is prominent is this like profound wisdom and this deep spiritual connection and this like extreme almost like psychic energy and this like very passionate drive that is sort of like stimulating all of it, and like this, like I said, this very profound wisdom in terms of the truth of our heart that we receive. And so when we're dealing with this Venus in combustion in conjunction to the sun energy in the sign of Libra, where she is very strong, even though Venus is combust, this is actually really a very like positive and productive position for her to be going through this conjunction to the sun right now, because the qualities that is evoking or provoking in the Venus archetype are very helpful right now in everything else that we have playing out, because it's really helping us to sort of get in touch with the truth of our heart, which a lot of the energy over this past couple months has really been trying to help us strive to rediscover. And our whole Mercury retrograde process was a lot about that too. But now here we are with this Venus combust energy, really being able to connect on a much deeper level to the truth of our own heart. And then being facilitated today with this Mars energy, this Mars trine energy, Mars being in the sign of Gemini. This is our thoughts. This is our ideas. This is our communication. This is a very, very good day and a very, very good energy to have any type of deep, important conversation about some root issues, perhaps in relationships that need to be resolved. This is a very facilitating energy for that, and it can lead to some very long-lasting positive results, the way that this is playing out. And, you know, again, like it's reinforcing the sense of balance and harmony within us. It's helping to reinforce the sense of balance and harmony in the various dimensions, circumstances, and situations of our experience as well. And when we add into it this other trine that is playing out today, which is the second thing we're going to be talking about, this trine between the moon in Leo today and Jupiter, who retrogrades actually back to 1 degree of Aries today. This is really like setting our heart on fire and expanding this whole thing as well. And these two trines are actually really very much like playing into each other in sort of a feedback loop because of the positioning of the planets themselves and their signs and what is, you know, who's ruling what sign and whatnot. And we will talk about that in a minute. But I do feel like this trine, and remember, you know, the sun is there as well. This is really helping to facilitate, you know, some solutions, some resolutions, some rebalancing, some reharmonization, some justice restored, and just also is really very conducive to just some positive outcomes going on in the realms of relationships or talking about relationships or thinking about, you know, that type of stuff. Romance, very, very supportive and positive for this as well. And people are generally today going to be getting along. Why are they going to be getting along? Because we're getting along with ourselves internally. A lot of times when, you know, there's fights happening externally, it's because there's really some issues that we have going on within ourselves internally, and we are like projecting that out. And so when there's just this general sense of harmonization going on, we are likely, again, I keep reiterating this, but we're likely again to just be experiencing that in the interpersonal dynamics of our whatever's playing out as well. So people getting along, seeking both peace and wisdom today, I feel like to some extent. I do feel like people are looking for like the bigger picture today and are really looking to be able to resolve things in a way that really just like brings balance back to a situation somehow with all of this Libra energy going on. And also Jupiter in effect today as well. Jupiter also brings justice and also brings truth and is in this trine to the moon in Leo today. Now that's the thing. These trines, both of them that we have playing out, these are both extremely passionate trines because we're talking about, first of all, this trine in air signs between Mars and Venus. There's not much more of a passionate trine that you can get between the masculine and the feminine dynamic and energies. Like this is, you know, this is passion and this is desire being facilitated for very creative purposes. And then we're talking about air signs that this is happening in. So this is the realms of the ideas and the mind and our consciousness, you know, what we're thinking about. And that's also why this is a problem solving energy, because it's coming through in the mind. But we are likely to be very focused today on relationships or on our passions, or again, this is a very creative energy as well, on our creative passions, but it's even being like expanded and exacerbated by number 2, the moon in Leo today, early degrees of Leo, forming the trine to Jupiter retrograde in the very early degrees of Aries. Now, Leo, the moon in Leo, this is our emotions. Leo is the sign of our personal, creative, authentic self-expression, our joy, also our passion. Very, very passionate and fiery sign we're dealing with when we're dealing with Leo, and very strong creative energy as well. Forming a trine to Jupiter, which expands things, you guys, in the sign of Aries, which rules our personal truth. This is like, and again, this facilitated energy, this trine energy. This is fueling, like this is a emotional alignment with our ability to create, or with our passions being fueled and facilitated by an alignment or with a sense of embodiment of our personal truths that we're coming to at this point in time, that is also really like fueling and playing into this Venus Mars trine creative energy in air signs as well. This is like our heart being set on fire in one way or another. And again, this definitely may be stimulating some romance in the air today for sure, or just a really strong desire to create or to follow some type of creative passion that is coming to us. Themes of relationships, romance, love, enjoyment, creativity, passion, for sure, on our minds, in our thoughts, in our conversation, taking over our focus, spurring us into action. I think that we're going to be feeling pretty good about ourselves today. I feel like we're probably going to be feeling pretty on top of our game. I feel like we're probably going to be feeling pretty confident and pretty like fired up about taking a risk to pursue a passion in alignment with our personal truth. Like, this is all the type of stuff that's coming through in the vibes for today. And our actions are being facilitated. Our actions are being supported. This is a good day, you guys, in the context of this Mars square Neptune energy that we've had playing out, that really has been sort of maybe like discouraging or dissolving or weakening our ability to feel assertive and to take some type of action or to make a choice or to, just like do something that we know that we've been needing to do, but maybe we haven't felt the confidence to do it or something. Today, that script may be flipped a little bit, and we may find ourselves out of nowhere just feeling inspired to finally like make that choice, make that decision, take that action, approach that person, pursue this situation, or just begin like actually putting action or work into some type of creative thing that maybe has been brewing like within us over this period of time. Today is a great day to make a choice or to take some kind of action that feels motivated by our heart. This is like a soul calling that we are being pulled toward today, with these two beautiful trines playing out in the air and fire signs. Very stimulating, lively, energized vibes that we are dealing with, and we are likely to be just overall sort of like feeling very alive today. If we've been feeling like we've been very disoriented, very discouraged, or like I was saying, like kind of like weakened in one way or another, the energy coming through today, these air and fire trines playing out simultaneously are really like bringing us back to life somehow, both in terms of lighting up our heart and really stimulating our mind. And like I was saying earlier, if you think about it, like they're actually creating this feedback loop and playing into one another, because we have, this trine going on. It's between Venus in Libra and Mars in Gemini, right? And the sun is there as well. We have Venus conjuncting the sun, both in the sign of Libra. And then we're talking about a Leo moon, which is ruled by the sun, right? Which is in the conjunction to Venus, in the trine to Mars. And then we're talking about Jupiter in Aries, right? Which is ruled by what? Jupiter in Aries is ruled by Mars. So the expansion energy that we're dealing with in terms of our personal truth, Jupiter in Aries, this expansion energy, our desire to like embody this personal truth and be inspired to take a risk and move ourselves forward in a new direction, one way or another. Jupiter in Aries forming the trine to the moon in Leo, based on this creative energy that is really lighting us up on an emotional level, or that we're feeling very passionate about. This is playing directly into, feeding directly into the Mars and Gemini energy, what we're being motivated and inspired to choose, or the action to take, or to talk about, to have the conversation about, which is in the trine to Venus, which is feeding into this creative, this feminine, this receptive energy that is trying to rebalance this peace, this harmony, this justice, this love, and putting this focus on the relationship dynamics, with the sun right there as well, also ruled by the moon. It's like the moon is, sort of playing into what we have going on with Venus in the sun in the sign of Libra, this emotional connection to the relationships that are our focus right now and whatever is going on with those, while simultaneously this expanded personal truth energy is feeding into the Mars, what we are being inspired to do, to think, to talk about. And then these two dimensions coming together, and these, perhaps like very passionate conversations about what we love or what we desire, and the truth about that, and what we want to do going forward. So I think that we are generally, like I said, seeing the brighter side of life today, to the point, actually, honestly, that this may be creating like a more solidified perspective change that really sort of carries forward and really changes our mindset on our own purpose and our own potential. I do feel like this could be sort of bringing us back into a greater balance with the truth of our own value today as well, and with the relationship to our own self and our own levels of self-love and, you know, recognition of the potential that we have going on within us. I feel like it could be very much so supporting our relationship to our own self today, which is what I was saying at the beginning, kind of about these aspects and how it is creating this generalized sense of harmony going on within us as well. But I feel like, you know, and also we're leading into starting to talk about the Sun square Pluto, that is sort of the more tricky dimension of things today. But Sun square Pluto, this is also pushing for transformation and regeneration. So I feel like, you know, there is a component of these perspective shifts or this more positive viewpoint or this greater sense of inner harmony that is coming in today that may actually be kind of fundamental in characterizing some greater transformations that are going on within us during this period of time, actually to come back into a place of our personal power. So I do feel like this energy that we might be sort of being like infused with today, this positive like air and fire energy, may be actually helping us to make some permanent changes that are helping us to become more empowered based on this value that we're recognizing within us as well. But overall today, you guys, these two aspects, as they're playing out, healing, helping us to restore a sense of value that we have going on within us. Also Mercury right now, also in Libra, ruling the position of Mars and Gemini, coming into a conjunction with Chiron. So there is a dimension of this trine, these trines, this feedback loop of energy that are playing out today as well, that I feel like are putting an emphasis on, like I said, the value that we have within us, recognizing that and helping to heal any wounds that may have been present or any long-standing trauma or unhealed trauma as a result of disregarding our own value in one way or another. So I feel like that's sort of coming back around and being healed to an extent and this energy as well. Now let's move on and talk about the third primary aspect today that I'm looking at, and that is the square that we have playing out between the sun in the sign of Libra and, you know, Venus is right there as well. This is going to be, the sun is going to make this aspect, and then right behind the sun, Venus is going to make this aspect as well. But this is not exact yet. We have the sun 1 degree out from the exact orb. Tomorrow will be the direct hit of this sun squaring Pluto. And this is sort of ratcheting up the intensity a little bit. You know, this is bringing a level of complexity or a level of challenge or confrontation to the day, where without this aspect, it may have just literally been like all rainbows and butterflies and sunshine and romance and like skipping through the breeze in the fields of sunflowers. But now that we have also on the side the sun squaring Pluto as well, this is bringing in, like I said, some things that we perhaps are needing to overcome, maybe in order to restore this peace or harmony or balance that we're getting the ideas about today, or just demonstrating to us what we need to overcome as a result perhaps of the changes that are happening now. Or also it could represent like these changes that we need to make within us, some inner transformations that are going on that are also blocking us from perhaps being able to, you know, really align with this new path that we are trying to walk right now, or these choices that we are trying to make, or this new direction that we are trying to go. But, you know, it is Pluto, so this is more of a collective energy, and I feel like this may be manifesting more so in terms, because these trines are so powerful today, and the trines are involving the personal planets. Okay, we're talking about the sun, we're talking about Mars, Venus, we're talking about the moon. These are going to be affecting us in our personal lives more so, because these are the interpersonal planets. But, you know, the square to Pluto, while we may very much be dealing with this in our personal lives as well, we may more so see it playing out on the world stage in terms of some tension or some power struggles or shifting power dynamics, or things to do with like authority and government and world leaders and I mean, Pluto and Capricorn, you guys, and the Sun in Libra right now. Abuses of power and authority and long-standing regimes of power and control versus justice, balance, and essentially like love, right? We're talking about Libra, which is ruled by Venus, which rules the heart. So these are the type of issues that may be sort of coming up in like the media or the news or just on the world stage generally, like some type of juxtaposition or conflict going on as a result of long-standing dominating orders of power and control up against like truth, justice, balance, righteousness, and reestablishing a sense of peace and balance generally. So these type of things may be heating up. Abuses of power just generally could be a major theme today. Clashes with authority or powerful forces could also really be something that is coming through with this on the side of this beautiful trine energy that we have going on. You know, it's like, yes, there's this sense of harmony that is playing out today, and we're feeling very inspired and very courageous. Maybe this is actually what is giving us the strength to like say no to something where we normally would have said yes, even though it's not in our best interest, or to like break ourselves free or break ourselves out of something or stand up for ourselves in some way that normally we wouldn't have, because we are feeling so empowered and we are feeling the sense of self-love and we are feeling the sense of like inner strength and courage and just the faith and belief and trust in ourselves to be able to get a positive outcome. Like a sort of renewed sense in the trust in the universe today is coming through with these trines as well. So that actually may be something that is sort of helping us to break through some barriers that we've been struggling with, or to sort of conquer some of the demons maybe that we've been battling over this past, I don't know, like period of time. But Sun square Pluto, generally themes of abuse, corruption, abuse of power, like dark and sinister forces meddling in things like Pluto and Capricorn squaring the Sun in Libra is fighting the force that is seeking to bring justice and restore peace and balance and harmony and stuff like that. So this is indicating kind of like a spiritual battle that is playing out on an energetic level on the side of these trines that we have going on today, where it really is like, are we aligning with like righteousness and truth and balance and like divine justice, or are we continually trying to like control and to manipulate and to overpower and to dominate so that we stay in a place where we feel like we are in power and control of situations, instead of surrendering to universe and allowing this sense of like justice and balance to be restored in things in a way that is necessary right now according to this divine blueprint that is unfolding as we are transitioning into the age of Aquarius, you guys. But it really, like, the position of the Sun today is giving us all the information that we need, honestly, I feel like, to counteract this Sun square Pluto energy. I feel like these trines today and like our ability to align with that and use our free will to maneuver our like consciousness in a way that sort of like keeps us out of the more tricky intensity that may be brewing from the Sun square Pluto energy. The position of the Sun today at 26 degrees of Libra, that Sabian symbol is an eagle and a large white dove turning one into another. So I feel like this is telling us that we really do overcome these challenges or conquer these demons today by this combination of wisdom and love that is sort of elevating our perspective on things. The eagle, this like wisdom, this higher perspective, Jupiter, right? Like this Jupiterian energy, and the dove, this is Venus, this is Libra energy, this is this peace, this harmony, this justice. And we have these two trines going on that are really indicating both of those. Plus these are birds. This is the air element. Again, this is our ideas, this is our thought, and it's also transformative. You're talking about turning one into another, transforming constantly one into the other, going back and forth between this wisdom and this higher perspective and this justice and this peace and this balance and this harmony and this resolution. This is, the mentality, the birds, the mindset that will benefit us the most in just moving through this energy today, or in also conquering whatever may be coming up in the context of this Sun Pluto square that we have going on as well. Also today, the position of the Earth, 26 degrees of Aries, that Sabian symbol is a man possessed of more gifts than we can hold. I feel like we are actually feeling that way. Like I was saying, I feel like we're seeing a bit of the brighter side of life. Like we're seeing our cup is half full today. We're feeling pretty good about ourselves and seeing our value, recognizing our value, recognizing our potential, like embracing our passions, embracing the truth of our heart, and realizing the truth of the value that we hold within us. A man possessed of more gifts than he can hold. I feel like these trines are really indicating that for us, which is filling us up, which is giving us this confidence, right? Which is helping us to conquer these demons or to stand up for ourselves, which could be creating these power struggles. But as long as we are keeping our vibration elevated and in alignment with wisdom and love, right? The eagle and the dove, also Leo and Jupiter, Sagittarius, then I think that we're going to be really good moving through this energy today. We also have Venus today, of course, really significant planet right now and ruling this cycle, 25 degrees of Libra. That Sabian symbol is the sight of an autumn leaf brings to the pilgrim the sudden revelations of the mysteries of life and death. Again, this is another aspect of revelations about the mysteries that of this transformative process that we're going through right now, maybe really discovering some deep truths about ourselves and how it's leading to this process of transformation, kind of like the degree also where the sun is today, the large white dove and the eagle turning into one another, transmutation, transformation, metamorphosis, and we're talking about the mysteries of life and death, which are also very much about this transformation, while we have the sun squaring Pluto as well. There is a dimension of the sun square Pluto energy, these conflicts that are coming up, these conflicts within us that are coming up, these things that we have to overcome, these powerful forces that we may feel up against in this energy. It's because like that is what we need to conquer in order so that we can really truly go through this transformation and come to this place of self-empowerment that is the new version of ourselves that is in alignment with the new version of ourselves that is emerging through this process. And we also have Mercury today at 12 degrees of Libra. Miners are emerging from a deep coal mine, and to me this is also talking about like we've been going through this process of like really doing some deep introspection in terms of the true nature of our heart and what we really have inside of us. And I feel like this is talking about in this energy today as well, where we are recognizing, that we're filled with more gifts perhaps than we can hold, that these gifts are also valuable resources that can really fuel us in our various pursuits as we are going in this new direction and as we are rediscovering and redefining ourselves and redefining the dimensions and the nature of our relationships as well. And obviously that is a major theme of what is going on today. But again, I feel like Mercury at this degree as well is talking about what we are finding deep within us and the value that we are discovering is associated with that and helping us to essentially recreate our lives and our world in a much more authentic alignment that is going to lead us down a path to so much greater fulfillment going forward. So recognizing the depth of our true potential and realizing the point of transformation that we are at now and the significance of that and really embracing it. And it's almost like feeling proud of it today. Today, I feel like, with the sun or the moon in Leo trining Jupiter and Aries, it's like we're almost like proud of who we're becoming now and the person that we are growing into or that we are re-becoming, because a lot of this has to do with, who we originally were and who we've always been and where we've sort of gotten off course with that along the way, and like reconnecting to the truth of our original self through rediscovering our passions and our value and, our values, what really means something to us, and rediscovering our purpose and all of that. And that is the nature of the game right now, honestly, as well, because we are all being called into a process of self-actualization as we are in a transition of ages that is an age of self-knowledge, an age of self-empowerment, an age of self-mastery and co-creation with God and universe through this conscious awakening and in alignment with our authentic truths and the self-actualization process that I always talk about, and stuff playing out right now, you guys, and these these trines that are underway in the context of the sun forming the square to Pluto as well, I feel like are trying to inspire us into a difficult transformation, but in actually a more positive way. So that's what I have to say today, you guys, about the astrology. It is a lovely chart to talk about today. I love seeing trines playing out, especially in air and fire when they're like melded together like this and just bringing this really inspiring and uplifting positive vibes, positive vibes. Let's talk about the tarot now for a second, you guys. Now, we've got some interesting cards coming out today. Just a couple of them. The first card that we have coming out today is the Five of Wands in reverse, followed by the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, followed by the Page of Pentacles in reverse, or I mean upright, sorry, not in reverse, upright. And then on the back of the deck, we had the Nine of Swords in reverse. And what this honestly, like I'll explain these cards one by one in a minute, but to me, what this message is boiling down to is like, I feel like we're being pushed to a point right now where we're almost sort of ready to like choose simplicity in a lot of ways, as opposed to, you know, maybe status or like material success or comfort right now, because there's something about the energy that's playing out. And this may actually be like a more specific message for some, you know, just some of you guys out there. But I feel like this is definitely talking about coming to a point where we're sort of like choosing to walk away from the things that complicate our life, that we feel like we're constantly struggling about or bring us like a lot of stress, even if it means making a sacrifice perhaps in terms of some level of, like I said, status or material comfort or material success or abundance in some type of way. I feel like this message coming through is talking about a choice between simplicity or like stress and chaos. And I feel like it's talking about being willing to sacrifice the more prominent like material stuff that maybe is attached to a level of stress and chaos for a new opportunity that is much more simplistic and much more basic, but is freeing us from like some really strong anxieties or things that just have really been breaking us down in one way or another. So let's talk about this. First of all, we've got the Five of Wands in reverse, and this is stepping away from a conflict, okay? This is some type of ceasefire. This is putting down arms. This is deciding to like quit fighting something, to stop fighting for some reason in some way. Like I said, like just a ceasefire, walking away from some type of conflict. And then next, we have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Now, the Nine of Pentacles, this is the self-made woman. This is about material. This is about like doing it on your own and becoming that status symbol, becoming that influencer, becoming that that person that people strive to be like, or that people look up to, and like being materially and financially stable and abundant, okay? And it's also, this is Pentacles energy, so we're also talking about commitments here as well. And with the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, to me, this is and the Five of Wands as well, to me, this is talking about like walking away from some type of battle, from some type of struggle, from some type of conflict, but needing to sacrifice a level of like almost like independence or status or material success, or like us being on like some type of pedestal in some type of a way in order to detach ourselves from that conflict. And then we have the Page of Pentacles coming up because like there's a new opportunity, a simpler opportunity. We might only have one pentacle instead of 9 pentacles. And, you know, this is a much more, you know, and it's a fresher energy. This is something totally new and different perhaps than what we've been doing before, but it's upright and it is 9 of Swords in reverse on the back of the deck. It is not stressing us out. It is freeing us from anxiety. It is freeing us from panic. It is freeing us from that which has been keeping us up at night and where we haven't been able to sleep and we haven't been able to relax. This opportunity or this new thing that we're focused on. It might be small, but it has the potential to grow. It might not seem like that big of a deal right now, but it really is an opportunity that is sort of like holding, the world in the palm of our hands, or just having this golden opportunity, even though it may not have become much right now. And it may be sort of something, again, like a fresh start or starting over in one way or another, or something different or something new or something that seems much more simplistic than what we've been dealing with. What it's not doing is giving us nightmares, stressing us out, ruining our lives essentially. And it's allowing us to distance ourselves and to step back from this conflict as well. So in the context of these cards and this energy coming out, I actually wrote some notes about this spread as it came out. I wrote some type of ceasefire or walking away from conflict for some type of resolution, but this resolution through some type of seeming sacrifice or some type of broken commitment as well, with this Nine of Pentacles, or accepting material or financial uncertainty, having to sacrifice a sense of stability or security in one way or another, but it's for the purpose of taking a new offer or a new opportunity that is not attached to the same level of stress or of fear or of just general like misery. Choosing simplicity, like I said, over chaos, even if it means losing something materially or in terms of status. This is mental health over material success and stability. That is what this spread is looking like to me. And so that may be something that you feel like is, very specific to your situation, or this could just generally be where we're sort of coming to in the collective right now, which Taurus and Scorpio moving towards this eclipse, you guys, that we have coming up as well, with Venus conjunction of this eclipse in Taurus. I mean, this one is specifically in the sign of Scorpio, because the full moon will be in Taurus and Scorpio, the next one. But for the new moon, it's specifically in the sign of Scorpio. But we are talking about the polarities where the nodes are of Taurus and Scorpio. And Taurus, this is the sign of getting back to basics. This is a sign of simplicity. And also in that process, the miners emerging from the deep coal mine, like discovering the resources that we hold within us and figuring out how to tap those to become like more self-reliant and more personally resourceful, and just become more of sort of like the generator of our own stability and material certainty in one way or another as well. So it's sort of, it's all kind of coming together. These eclipses coming up, I feel like that in the context of this reading as well, like that may be something that this energy is pushing us towards in these decisions that we've been trying to make also, like getting back to basics in some type of way, like sort of cutting off the excess, like uncomplicating things, and going in a direction that may seem not as like over the top or not as like frivolously abundant or something like that, but is more solid and is more beneficial to our personal well-being. Again, like I said, I do feel like this is us choosing our mental health over status in one way or another. So that's what I have to say, you guys, for the message of the cards and the tarot and the stars, the astrology. And again, with us heading into this eclipse, like that may be with Venus conjunct as well, that may be something that this eclipse is bringing, like a need, or this new moon as well, this new moon in Scorpio that's coming up, like a need to really sort of like refine things and sort of simplify various areas and aspects of our life. So let's grab one more card now, you guys. God, Spirit, Universe, let's have a synchronicity card. What do we need to know? There goes one flying onto the floor. And it says what I do feel like is a very appropriate message for our trine energy today, our romance in the air energy today, our more carefree energy today, feeling good about ourselves today. It says, you guys, rest, relax, and breathe, okay? He feedeth among the lilies until the day breaks and the shadows flee away. Song of Solomon 2:16 through 17. Take refuge among the lilies of God and heaven and dwell upon the concepts of joy, harmony, peace, beauty, and divine law and order. All your plans, journeys, and undertakings will prosper. Continue in this abiding trust and faith in God until the day breaks and the shadows flee away. And if I could have like encapsulated these two trines, this moon, Jupiter, moon in Leo, Jupiter in Aries trine, this fire trine alongside this Venus, Mars, air sign trine today. The words that I would use to like summarize that into just like one little poem would be this. So I feel like this is a very good descriptive of the vibe generally that we have going on today. And I do feel like we should sort of, relish in the pleasures and the beauty and the love, perhaps, and just the positive experiences that may be coming through today. And again, this eagle and the dove changing into each other, the large white dove and the eagle constantly turning into one another. If we feel ourselves coming up against a resistance, consciously practicing forgiveness and trying to keep our heart space in alignment with the higher perspective on things, the eagle energy, and a sense of peace and balance and love and trust within us is, I feel like, going to benefit us as we are going through this energy today. But overall, it really just should be a good day. So that's what I have to say today, you guys. I hope you liked it. I hope I was able to provide something for you that can give you just a little bit of something as you're going through your day today. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. If you haven't hit that subscribe button down below, please do. It will only take you a second. It's totally free and it really helps my channel grow. I really appreciate it when you guys do that. I have a Facebook page, a Facebook group, a website, and some other social medias. Those are in my description box below. Share it with your friends, you guys, if you think that they would enjoy and appreciate this type of astrology content too, and leave me comments. I really appreciate you. I love your feedback. I love what you guys have to say and knowing how these aspects are affecting you. I am so glad and grateful for your presence here with me as we are going on this journey through the transition of ages. So come back with me tomorrow, you guys. We will have the sun in exact square to Pluto. That's something that we're going to be talking about tomorrow. Could be a bit of an intense day. The moon is also going to be in mid-range degrees of Leo, forming a square in opposition to Saturn and Uranus. So we're going to be in some more complex and a little bit more difficult energy tomorrow, but I will be here to talk about it, and you should be here too. You don't want to miss it. I'll see you then, guys. Have a beautiful day. Until tomorrow. Bye, everyone.